If you want to use a class with your SwiftUI data, which you will want to do if you want to share that data across many SwiftUI views, you've got to use one of three property wrappers from SwiftUI. One is @stateObject, another is @observedObject, and a third is @environmentObjects. We'll look at @environmentObject later on, but for now let's focus on the first two. Here's some code we had previously that makes a user class and attempts to use it inside a content view using @state private var user equals user. We then bind our text fields to user first name and user last name. And when this code runs, it does not work the way you might have expected. If I'd had in here not Bilbo Baggins, but Frodo Baggins, the text above is not changing. And that would not happen if class here were instead a struct, if it was struct user. Go on then. Good dog. Now, to fix this, we've got to switch out state. It is not going to work here. It's not powerful enough to do what we want. It's designed for local struct changes rather than external classes. And so to fix this, we've got to start by telling SwiftUI when interesting parts of our class have changed. And by interesting, I mean anything that should cause SwiftUI to reload our view. Now it's possible you might have lots of properties inside your class, but only a few should be exposed to the wider world. And so we don't want to watch every property changing, just certain key ones that involve the UI reloading. You're a good dog, you're obviously a hungry dog. Now in this case, our user class has two properties, first name and last name, and when either of those two change, we want to notify the views that are watching this class, hey, something important's changed, please reload your view to reflect that change. And we can do that with a new property wrapper, which is @published. Please publish announcements when this value changes. It's more or less half of state. It tells SwiftUI when either of these two properties change, please send an announcement out to any SwiftUI views that are watching. They should reload to show the changes. Now, how do those views know that these classes might send out these change announcements? That's another property wrapper, @stateObject, which is the other half of @state. It tells SwiftUI we're making a new class instance that should be watched for any change announcements. And so I'm going to change the property here to @stateObject, like that. Now at this point, we're creating something that might be local, might be shared, who knows what. It's very common though to remove the private because we're not necessarily sharing it anymore. @state is designed to be shared. Now we're using @stateObject, our code will no longer compile. You can see it's very angry at us here. It's saying the user class must conform to a protocol called observableObject. And this is because @stateObject can only be used on types that conform to this protocol. This has no requirements. All you got to do is add up here, :observableObject. Really all it means is we want other things to be able to monitor this for changes. And now our code will compile again, and even better, it will work again. We can go ahead and change Bilbo Baggins here over to Frodo, and it will work correctly. So, as you've just seen, rather than using @state to declare local state here, we now take 3 steps. We make a class here that conforms to the observable object, an object that can be observed for changes. We then mark some properties, only the ones you want, with @published. So any views using the class get updated when those values change. We then make an instance of our class using the @stateObject property wrapper. The end result is we have our state stored in an external object now. First name and last name are stored elsewhere. And even better, we can now share that in multiple views and have them all point to the same value. However, there's a catch. Like I said earlier, @stateObject tells SwiftUI we're making a new class instance is we watch for any change announcements. But that should only be used when you're making the object, like we are right now. We're making it right here equals a new user. When you want to use a class instance elsewhere, when you've made it in class A and want to share it in class B, C, and D, and so forth, use a slightly different property wrapper called @observedObject. That's the only difference. You say @observedObject, user, colon, some kind of user. You don't make the user each time. So @stateObject is when you create the data, when you make it for the first time. Everywhere else, when you're just reading it or modifying it, but you're not creating a new one, you use @observedObject instead.